right. Hello, Facebook. Hello, YouTube. Hello, Tom Hanks. If you ever decide to tune in, welcome to Not My Corner. This is obviously Not My Corner. Welcome to my kitchen. Today's episode of Kari's Corner has officially turned into Cooking with Kari. Cooking with Kari is also going to be a live Q&A session. So with that being said, I'm going to turn on my chat so that I can see your questions as we go live. As you can see, we have a special guest today. Since I'm in my kitchen and not in my office, my dogs are going to make a lovely appearance on the show. This is Sully. He is a Great Dane. He's a big, lovable boy. If you hear another dog in the background, that is Rammy. He is a Siberian Husky. He's been out, he's been fed, so he should have no reason to chime in and start chatting today. He's staring at me right now. But Sully likes to be where mommy is. So he's going to hopefully go lay down now. But welcome to the show. This is going to be a very different live experience. So hopefully you're tuning in and sharing this with your friends so that you can say, hey guys, Kari is in her kitchen today. So what do we have going on at Worldwide? We have so many things going on at Worldwide today. And so many things we're going to talk about on the show. Today's show is a live Q&A session. So if you have questions, if you hear noise in the background, again, that would be my dogs. Apparently, he thinks there's more food in his bowl, and there's not. Sully, I think you got it, buddy. So, again, you got to love being live. Lots of things going on at Worldwide, though. And going on at Worldwide, we are nearing 100,000 likes on our Facebook page. That's such a huge number, 100,000 likes. So if you have not liked our Facebook page yet, scamper on over there, click that like button. We're so excited and honored to have you like our Facebook page, but that's the best way to stay updated on social media if you're a Facebook person. Hello in Jordan. Thank you so much for watching. I love Jordan. Such a beautiful country, such beautiful people. Thank you so much for tuning in. Yep, Tracy's right. Let us know in the chat where you're watching from. Another thing that we have going on at Worldwide, next week is my last live show of 2023. Next week is also Ron Hoppy's last live webinar of 2023. So that's also very exciting. And then, of course, like the biggest news ever out there is retrogression. Yay, retrogression. Retrogression moved things up quite a bit. It's going to impact a lot of people with priority dates. So retrogression has moved up that timeline. It was December of 2021 for Philippines and the rest of the world pretty much, except I think it's excluding China and India. They still have a different date. But we have now moved it up to August of 2022. August of 2022. So just to kind of give you an idea, a numerical idea of how many people that impacts, we were with that number, we were expecting around like 300 arrivals, and now we're going to be expecting over 800 arrivals in 2023 or 2024, sorry, which is awesome. So that retrogression announcement was huge, and it means so much for those of you applying now, right? If you're applying now, August of 2022 is a lot closer than December of 2021. So if you're thinking about applying, now is the time. Don't wait. Go ahead and put your name on the list. Get in line. Get in line. So I have my first question. Looks like it's from David. Sorry, my computer screen is far away from me. You guys can't completely see, but while we're talking today, I'm going to be decorating cookies. That's why I'm in the kitchen. My two girls yesterday helped me make Christmas cookies. Don't worry, David, I'm going to get to your question. I'm just going to kind of explain the setup for those people just joining. I am in my kitchen. In the United States, it's a very, very popular tradition to make and decorate Christmas cookies. Now, you have two extremes of people. You have the people who are very particular and they use what's called royal icing, and it becomes very hard, and it's more about how the cookie looks than how the cookie tastes. Well, not in the Cooper household. It is all about taste for us. So I have a very top secret sugar cookie recipe that I use that keeps the cookies a little thicker and nice and soft. And I use not that royal icing stuff. No, that's not for me. I use buttercream icing and cream cheese icing because they taste better. But then I have like all these different food colorings of my icing. So I put food coloring in my icing. And so while I'm talking to you guys today, I'm going to decorate some Christmas cookies because I'm a multitasker. I got to get these cookies decorated for Santa, right? For when Santa comes, he's got to have cookies. Believe it or not, these cookies will still be good by then. I know, right? It's a top secret recipe. All right, so let me scroll back up to David's question because I want to make sure I've got so many people in the chat, and I love that. Keep the questions coming. Keep the questions coming. What if you have a visa screen and your English test has expired? Do you still need to take an English exam? David, you are reading my mind. Thank you so much for asking that question. David is asking, he's saying he's already got his visa screen. Go, David. And he already has, of course, to get your visa screen, you have to have an English exam. The only way you can be exempt from an English exam is to be from a very short list of English-speaking countries. Jamaica is on that list, which I'm pretty sure I saw my Jamaica girl on the chat. I'm pretty sure I saw her on there already. Yep, there she is. Hi, Arlene. So Arlene is exempt from taking an English exam. Jamaica, Great Britain, Australia, Scotland, the United States, obviously. So if you were educated, or if you're from any of those countries, or your nursing education, it's your undergraduate nursing, so your initial nursing education, if those were done in those countries, you are exempt from taking an English exam. But to answer David's question, always fun, right, with the English exam. I can't just say yes or no. Some states require what's called an active English exam. And what that means is English exams have a 2-year lifespan, if you will. They're good for 2 years. Your visa screen is good for 5 years. Wouldn't it be great if the English exams and the visa screens could get on the same page and they're both good for 5 years? No. One has to be good for 2. One has to be good for 5. So some states, for example, Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is a very popular location. We have some fantastic clients in Pennsylvania. It's a great place to live. But in Pennsylvania, you have to have an active English exam. So David, even if you already have your visa screen, when you apply for your licensure in Pennsylvania, they're going to ask for an active English score. So that means that score has to be within 2 years. So hopefully that answered your question. David, please keep those questions coming. I have to scroll back down in the chat. I didn't pass the NCLEX exam. Can I work in the States until I pass the test? That is a fantastic question. You will not be able to get a job offer. I'm going to start multitasking here. I'm going to start making some cookies while I talk to you guys. I can take my icing and put it right there. I like a lot of icing. I like to go into diabetic shock when I eat sugar cookies. So yes, you have, in order to get that job offer, it's kind of tricky. We do have some non-NCLEX candidates, and we do have like a non-NCLEX kind of program, but the best way to get a job offer in the United States is to go ahead and have that NCLEX exam. Go ahead and have that NCLEX exam. If you're looking, and that's the best part, you get to lick the icing off your finger. If you are looking for NCLEX exam preparation, we partner with Rachel Allen. And Rachel Allen is, that when I say we partner with them, that doesn't mean we pay for it. Unfortunately, sorry. But Rachel Allen is a great preparation program if you're preparing for the NCLEX. But we do have an NCLEX Scholars Program that if you email your case manager or if you reach out, we are happy to share information about that NCLEX Scholars Program headed by our amazing Arnie. She's so fantastic. So there's that. Hopefully that answers that question. You're doing your ADN program. I got a question. Hello in Ghana. Hello. Yes, NCLEX is required to begin working as an RN in the U.S. I'm doing my ADN program in the United States. Do I still need an English exam? ADN. You're going to have to tell me what ADN stands for. Can you do that one for me? ADN. Well, like I said, it's the undergraduate education that they're looking for. The undergraduate education. So your initial nursing program, your bachelor's of science in nursing, associate degree in nursing. Okay, yes, associate degree in nursing. Yes, you can become an RN. Yes, associate degree in nursing. Yes, as long as you get that nursing degree, that nursing diploma in the U.S., then yes, you can be waived or exempted from taking the English exam. I have a bit of a runny nose this morning. So that's a great question. Absolutely great question. Associate degree in nursing, you can definitely be exempt from taking the English exam. So until we get some more questions, which guys, keep these questions coming. You got to entertain me while I decorate these cookies. For some reason, I'm making a red gingerbread man. I don't know why. I just kind of felt like it. Some of the questions that I get to kind of inspire some of your questions. A lot of the questions I'm getting lately, of course, the number one question is, can I take blank? Can I take this exam? Or a lot of people will enter the process thinking they have to take one exam when they don't realize that they can take multiple exams, that you have an option of exams. And so my advice for those people is before you decide which exam you're going to take, my advice to you is to ask your case manager. They can put you in touch with me or one of our amazing licensure specialists. And what happens then is we will kind of look into what state you're going to and what those state requirements are. And you could take the PTE, you could take the IELTS, you could take the TOEFL, you could take the MET, the OET, and you just don't realize that you have so many options. And the IELTS is so popular and they have so many testing locations. Don't get me wrong. I think that's great. TOEFL has so many testing locations, but so does PTE. So does OET. The MET is actually working really hard to expand right now. So don't take an exam just because that's the exam your friends took, especially if you're talking to friends who are already here. That means they went through this process, the process you're going through 2 years ago. And so much has changed in the past 2 years around the English exam. So don't think I'm going to take the IELTS just because that's what my friend took and they're in the United States. You have options. Explore your options. Okay? Explore your options. Go back and watch some Kari's Corner episodes. I just spent a lot of time detailing each test. So go back and look at some of those tests, or go back and look at some of those shows where I talk about those tests, or ask your questions on here. Ask them on here. So we've got 2 questions. We've got one from Mona. You have 2 certificates, a diploma and a bachelor's certificate, and an experience of 15 years in nursing. Is that counted in the States? Are your years of experience counted in the States? Absolutely. Are your degrees and your diplomas recognized? We use a system called the Carnegie. They do an evaluation of your education. We also, most states require what's called a CES report. And what that stands for is Credentials Evaluation Services. And they evaluate your credentials. So they're the ones that kind of look into it and they tell us, yes, this person's credentials are good. Yes, they went to an accredited university. They're the ones that tell us that kind of information. So is your experience? Yes, absolutely. 15 years of nursing experience. And what kind of experience? Those are all things that you're going to want to talk to one of our amazing recruiters. You're going to want to talk to them because they have a lot of information about your experience and about where they think you will best be placed in the United States. Here's my little gingerbread man. Check that out. Not too shabby for somebody who's trying to talk and decorate at the same time. This is not as easy as I thought it was going to be, Tracy. All right, so let me continue. Tracy just posted some fantastic information. Let me look at this other question. Are Jamaicans exempted from taking the IELTS? If you are from Jamaica, and that's where your education was in Jamaica, then yes, Jamaica is exempted from the English exam because you speak English in Jamaica. You speak it with a way cooler accent than we do in the United States. So absolutely, Jamaica is on one of those countries that is exempted by CGFNS. So fantastic. You've got, Mona's telling me, look at, oh my gracious, look at all of your experience. Med-surg, oncology patients, and NICU. Mona, you've been all over the place. Holy smokes. Yes, all of that is absolutely relevant experience. Med-surg. Med-surg is a top place. We are, correct me if I'm wrong, Tracy, but we are always looking for med-surg. Always looking for med-surg. We love med-surg. It's a great way to get your foot in the door. And I do want to say, I'm getting so many questions. What's the required IELTS score for? Oh, there's so many. They're scrolling so fast. Look at all these. Yes, med-surg applicants are encouraged to apply. Woohoo! Let me scroll back up. Hello, Sheila from Cameroon. Thank you for watching. Thank you for decorating cookies with me today. Hang on. Okay, what is the required IELTS score for California? Oh, I love those. I love these questions. So that's going to depend. Trying to see. Bree. That's going to depend on how you're applying. So this is a question I always have to ask. I have a lot of candidates who are in stages 1 or not stage 1, stages 2 or 3 that reach out to me and they say, can I take this exam? I want to take this exam, et cetera, et cetera. Stages 2 and 3, my response to them is always the same. I always say, try to pump the brakes a little bit. Focus on getting what's called your I-140 documents submitted and filed. Your I-140 documents that's what's going to get your name in line with USCIS. You do not exist to the American immigration system until those I-140 documents are filed, received, and processed by USCIS. So if you're in like the very beginning process, you've accepted your job offer, or even if you're out there just shopping for a job right now, stages 2 and 3, specifically stage 3, that's what we call the I-140 phase. That's when we're collecting all your documents and all your history. Get those submitted. Focus on getting all of that submitted, all of that done correctly first. Get that under your belt. Then move on, because you want to get that place in line, right? Immigration you can think of it as a waiting line. You're in queue, right? You're waiting in line. Getting those documents submitted is what gets your place in line. So focus on getting your place in line first. Then focus on the English exam. So if you're in stages 2 or 3 and you get that email from me, I'm going to say, pump the brakes. I give you a few tips of things that you can be working on, tips that I share on this show. One of the tips is to watch this show. Yay! So there you go. What are the required? So going back to Bree's question, what are the required IELTS score for California? That's going to depend on whether you are applying for licensure by endorsement or licensure by examination. Licensure by endorsement means that you have an active U.S. license. An active U.S. license. There is a difference between having an active U.S. license and an active NCLEX score. There is a difference. Okay, I want to make sure that's understood. Next tree. We made a Christmas tree. We made a Christmas tree. That's not too shabby. That's probably the best one I've done. So if you're applying, to answer your question, if you're applying for licensure by endorsement to California, they just require a visa screen. So you can actually take IELTS, TOEFL, PTE, MET, OET. There is a list of exams that you can take. In that case, the IELTS for endorsement to California is a 6 points, the CGFNS requirements, a 6.5 overall and a 7 in speaking. If you're applying to California licensure by examination, by initial examination, they will take the IELTS, but you have to have a speaking score of 8. Yeah, 8. That is one level below native. I see very few 8s, but I do see them. I do see 8s. They're not impossible to get. TOEFL, the speaking score of a 26 total, and then an 80, either an 83 or an 85 overall. I'd have to double check and look that up for you. But those are the required score for IELTS, to answer your question, Bree. Let's see, Alicia, you're from Jamaica. You're applying for the visa screen. I am required to do it. I don't think so with your visa screen. We'll have to, if you'll email me and I can see some of the communication if you've emailed CGFNS or anything like that. If Alicia, you want to, feel free to email me. Tracy can pop my email in the chat or on the bottom of the screen. I would love to help you further with getting through that process for sure. But happy to help you. Jamaica is specifically listed on their list of exempt from the exam. So I would love, I'm kind of with it's Odinaka. Sorry if I mispronounced your name, but I'm agreeing with Odinaka here. Why not? Why not? Let's find out why. I love a good mystery. Merry Christmas. Oh, Merry Christmas to you too, Mona. Good morning. We have a good morning from Marlene. Hello, Marlene. You are from Jordan. You're an RN. Hello from Jordan. Your name is written what looks to be Arabic. So I can't read that. So hello in Jordan. That's so beautiful though. I love all forms of writing. English writing is just so, there's no art to it. Bree says, thank you. You are welcome. Is there any specific ways to study the NCLEX? Is the U world enough? How do I say this? Is the U world enough? It's going to depend on you. It really, there are some people, hello in the Philippines. I have a good announcement for the Philippines after I explain studying for the NCLEX. So when you studying for any test, this is true for anyone. Some people are just naturally good at taking tests, right? Some people don't have to study that hard and they ace it. I was fortunate in school to be one of those people. It would drive my best friend absolutely bonkers. She would spend hours and hours and hours studying, and I would sleep, and I would do better than she did on these tests. And she would be like, this is so not fair. I worked so hard. So some people are just naturally good test takers. So it's hard for me to answer the question of how much studying you need to do. What program is best for you to use in studying? Good programs will have multiple ways for you to study. They try to address different learning styles, different teaching techniques, all that kind of stuff. So it's really going to depend. But UWorld, it does provide helpful NCLEX study videos. They do. They do have, thank you, Tracy. They do have helpful study information. But I like to go into things feeling as prepared as possible. So I would do as much as possible to study and prepare, because this is an expensive exam. Like, this exam is not cheap. So I would want to only take it once. I'm not going to show you guys. I did a nutcracker, but he looks really scary. I'm not going to display that one. He's creepy. I tried to make eyeballs. Did not go well. I made eyeballs with my gingerbread man. I should have just done the same process with the nutcracker, but oh well. Let's see. You're a health and safety professional. Any vacancy for me? I'm not going to lie to you. I've never heard of a health and safety professional. Oh, your name is Mohammed. Thank you so much for spelling that out for me. Or is it Eliamat? Elimat. I don't know. I'm telling you, I'm horrible with names, guys. Hopefully you're over there laughing at me. But I do know Muhammad. I can say that one. So health and safety professional, any vacancies? Like I said, I'm not quite sure about the self health and safety professionals, about those job opportunities. So I do not feel completely comfortable asking that question or answering that question. I'm telling you guys, it's been a week. What is the visa screen? Great question, Mona. Great question. Basically, the visa screen is the process that you go through, and you can either you have one of two options for the visa screen. You can use a company called CGFNS, which is great. Mukul at CGFNS, big shout out to him. They're great. They're a great company. They are pretty timely in getting back to you or processing your visa screen, if you will. But a visa screen is it's part of the application process to get a visa to come to the United States. So in order to come to the United States and work, you have to have a visa. And the visa screen is basically looking at your credentials to work in the United States, to be granted a visa to work in the United States. I think Tracy's answering that question yep, thank you, Tracy. Is the PTE okay for an English test? Absolutely, the PTE is okay for an English test. The PTE is a great English test. Shout out to Meredith and my people at Pearson PTE. PTE is a great English test, and they are working so hard to make sure that they are as accepted as possible by all the boards of nursing. So the PTE is not accepted by all boards of nursing. They're not accepted by all boards of nursing. IELTS is for endorsement. Okay? So it depends on where you're going. So in order to answer that question, I got to know where you're going, and I got to know if you're applying for licensure by examination or endorsement, meaning do you have an active U.S. license already? So there you go. How is the PTE great? You can apply it in your home. Hang on, I see a couple different questions above that. I'm pretty sure I see which this question is going to be, is which one's easier to pass. Nathan Gamore from Ghana. Hello in Ghana. We are working so hard for you all in Ghana. We have a great client that recruits nurses from Ghana. We were just in Ghana. Lewis and the Goodman Group, which is one of our clients, they were just in Ghana, and they had so many amazing things to say about your people, your country, your nursing programs. So big shout out to you guys in Ghana. But Nathan, to answer your question, you would like to know which English language proficiency is relatively easier to pass. Thank you, Nathan, for asking probably the question that's on a lot of people's minds. PTE is easier to pass. It's easier to get the passing score requirements on PTE. And a lot of people mistake this because they'll just say which exam is easier. And like I said earlier, the easiness or difficulty of an exam depends on the person. Some people could take the IELTS and be like, wow, that was cake. Haven't met any of those people yet, but they're out there, I'm sure. The PTE is shorter. You get your results quicker. And by shorter, I mean it's half the time, literally half the time. You do get your results quicker with the Pearson PTE. And the score requirements compared to the score requirements for IELTS are lower. So they don't match up. And, you know, some of the testing beef or the testing drama with the PTE, our testing people are like, their score requirements are so much lower compared to our score requirements. And the people at Pearson PTE are like, we don't set the score requirements. We just make the test. So it's boards of nursing and the National Council on State Boards of Nursing, NCSBN, they set the score requirements. And that's who everybody goes by. So take it up with NCSBN. But to answer your question, it is easier to pass and meet the requirements of the Pearson PTE. It's also cheaper than IELTS. Not a ton, but it is cheaper. Hopefully that gave you a pretty thorough answer to that question. Jing, how about the OET? I have no problem in saying if I was a nurse and I wanted to come to the United States and I wanted to take an exam that I knew what to expect, I knew it was going to be about stuff that I knew about, that I was comfortable talking about, and an exam that would actually prepare me to do my job in the US, it would be the OET. It really would. Hands down, the OET. The OET is a great exam. Shout out to Jack and Gary at the OET. It is. It's a fantastic exam. So thank you so much for asking about it. With the OET, that speaking portion is actually done at home over Zoom. So talk about being in the comfort and a comfortable environment. But with the OET, in the Philippines from December 12th, starting at December 12th, they're running a promotion. So you can take the OET was originally like $437 US. You can now take it for $300 US. There is around $300 US. So there's a promotion going on in the Philippines. So if you're in the Philippines, check out the OET, capitalize on that super awesome discount. Check out the OET. Seriously, give it a look, give it a try. Email me if you want some preparation materials. I'm super happy to provide you with preparation for the OET. But the OET is a great test, Jing. It really is. It's a fantastic test. Preparing for the OET is going to be something you're very comfortable doing. Like I said, you're going to get to experience preparation for your job in the United States. So super, super, super happy you asked that. How is the PTE great? Something from your home. I'm not sure I completely understand your question. You can apply it in your home. You cannot take you can't take any exam fully from the comfort of your home. So all of these tests offer what's called the at-home version of the test. All of these types of things were created, around COVID, right? But the No Board of Nursing and CGFNS, neither of them recognize at-home versions of the test. None of them recognize those versions. So if you are interested in taking any of those, don't do the at-home version. Don't sign up for those. I don't know if that's what you were saying, Mona, but there you go. Emmanuel, thank you. Yep, you are more than welcome. Replying, we say PTE. I see that. Always fun. PTE is super popular. Just a quick statistic. Out of 100 candidates that I looked at in November, 75 of them took the PTE. So it's a popular exam. The NCLEX exam. Mohammed, what's your question about the NCLEX exam? Yes, IELTS is an absolute kick. I took it. You got a score of 7. That's awesome, though, Mona. A 7 is fantastic. Did you get a 7 overall? The big question is, did you get a 7 in speaking? Because that's what they're looking for. Also some advice. I've seen a lot lately. I don't know if this is a trend. I don't know if this is IELTS. I don't know what's going on. But I've seen a lot of people who have taken the IELTS and gotten a 6.5 recently in their speaking, and they submit it for rescoring and they bump them up to a 7. So I don't know if IELTS, it's the holiday spirit has infected the people at IELTS, and they're like, you get a 7, here you go. So could be good. If you're one of those people that's taken the IELTS recently and you got a 6.5 in speaking, submit it for rescore. They're feeling generous. Come January, they may not be feeling so nice. So submit it for rescore. Please, you have a question. Let's see what your question is. I have to scroll down. I got to reach over all my cookies and try not to eat any. What could be the reason for case managers not filing yet after 1 year of accepting a job offer? Case managers not filing. There could be information missing. There could be information missing from your file. They're very, very, very particular about these files. And all of this information with these I-140 documents. If every I is not dotted and every T is not crossed, that's a saying in the United States, dot your I's, cross your T's. That means you have to go through your application looking at every teeny tiny detail, right? If you have not done and completed all of those details that your case manager asks you to, they can't file your petition until it is complete. They can't get that filed. So sometimes I know, especially, so if you've hit on our amazing marketing, don't hit the unsubscribe button. Don't do that. Because our marketing team works really, really hard and they put together some really great and valuable emails. But don't hit unsubscribe, because if you have hit unsubscribe, you're not going to get any emails from us. That includes your case manager. So if you have noticed that you've stopped hearing from your case manager, you might want to make sure that you didn't click unsubscribe, because that's going to block all of us. So it can be a problem. So you may want to check on that too. Don't hit unsubscribe. Don't unsubscribe from us. That's not cool. That's not cool. Don't do it. But I can't speak on behalf of your case manager. I also can't speak on behalf of your specific case because I don't have it pulled up. So I suggest, again, reach out to your case manager, ask them those questions. You can always escalate it to, you can always call the office and request to speak to your case manager. You can call our office and you can request to speak to a director of case management, have somebody else look into it. So I will say our case managers do work really, really, really hard. They are inundated, meaning they have so many emails that they get every single day, and they go through all these emails, and it's not an easy job being a case manager, but they work so hard. All of our case management team is in the Philippines, with the exception of our overall director, which is Marlo Bench. So please, 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 please keep in mind how they get so many emails every day. So have some patience with your case manager. It doesn't hurt to follow up. Doesn't hurt to send an email and follow up. And I always like to say, my grandmother would say this, but it's a common saying, you attract more flies with honey than you do vinegar. And that means people are more likely to respond if you are nice and polite versus yelling at them. So make sure, try to do your best to use good manners, even though I know you're anxious and I know you're frustrated and you want your case manager to answer you. Do your best to, don't get behind the keyboard and rah, 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 rah. Okay? Do your best. Take a deep breath. Goose brava. Then send your email. Let's see. What's the next question? I have a question, please. If both states that I am licensed to and the state that it will be endorsed accepts the PTE, will there be no problem at all for the endorsement and the visa screen? Thank you for that little emoji. That's super cute. So you're applying, you will be endorsing your license to a job. It's going to depend on what state you're going to, and it's going to depend on, you guys have distracted me. I've completely slacked off on icing these cookies. My kids are going to come home and expect iced cookies, and there's just going to be nothing for them. If you have accepted your job and you're endorsing your license, it's going to depend on what state you're going to, because as I stated earlier, some states require what's called an active license. Hey, Meredith! Meredith's our PTE person. She's thebomb.com. So for those of you asking all those questions about the PTE, Meredith, ladies and gentlemen, Meredith Stokes, she is right on there. Icing a cookie right now for you, Meredith. I'm going to ship it to you. Maybe it'll still be good. It'll probably make my nutcracker look better if I ship it. I'm not going to lie. But yes, so some states require an active exam. That's why I always encourage people, don't apply or don't worry about your English exam until you get all those pesky I-140 documents out of the way. So Louie, if you have a job offer with us, if you could tell me what state you're headed to, I can definitely give you more specific advice, if that makes sense. But congratulations on passing the PTE. That's absolutely awesome. I know Meredith is on here. She's excited to hear that. Let's see. We've got Tracy in the chat responding. Tracy is always answering people with those amazing questions. What other questions are out there? Do we have any other questions? Louis, thank you. Oh, you are more than welcome. You're more than welcome. I love to answer these questions. So like I said, probably a lot of the emails I'm getting right now are just a lot of eager people who want to get their English exam out of the way. And I totally see that. I totally respect that. Just pump the brakes. So real quick, what are the 4 tips that I give people who are not quite ready to take their English exam yet, because we want to make sure those scores are appropriate? Here, how can I work in the USA? I'll tell you how you can work in the USA. You can check out are you, first of all, are you an RN? Have you passed your NCLEX exam? There you go. That's the first question, is have you taken and passed the NCLEX? Remember, Pearson VUE is opening a new NCLEX testing center in Kenya. So for all my peeps in Africa, I have icing on my hand. All my peeps in Africa, Kenya, you no longer have to drive or fly all the way to South Africa. We've got Kenya opening up a testing center. So excited. I'm so excited. Ghana, we're working hard for you. We are big advocates for getting a testing center in Ghana too, because I have so many of you amazing nurses coming from Ghana. What is the main difference between states you work in? Ooh, Mona, that's a great question. And the United States is a big country. So a lot of people, I'm kind of glad you asked that question. A lot of nurses will get on these group chats, and we are fully aware of the Facebook group chats and the WhatsApp group chats, which those are great. You've got to establish a community of support. How can you get the NCLEX exam? That depends on where you live, Mohammed. Depends on where you live. And if you've graduated from a nursing program. So you have to have your undergraduate nursing, either an associate's degree in nursing or a Bachelor of Science in nursing. There you go. Waiting for us in Ghana. Man, I want to go to Ghana. I was so jealous. Lewis just went to Ghana. You're in Jordan. So have you graduated from a nursing program? Have you completed an associate's degree or a bachelor's degree in there? You're an RN. There you go. Pearson VUE NCLEX testing centers. I think the closest one to you might be, there is a temporary Pearson VUE testing center in Qatar. I'm thinking like geographically that might be the closest. I don't know if there are NCLEX testing centers in Jordan, but if you go on the Pearson VUE website, it's Pearson, Pearson VUE. If you go on their website, it'll search, I want to take the NCLEX, and you'll register and create an account. It'll tell you the closest testing center to you. So that's step 1. Take the NCLEX. Take the NCLEX, Mohammed. Jordan is so beautiful, though. I love it. There's not any in Jordan. Yep, there you go. Mona's already answering. I love it. But so many things. There's so many questions coming in all at once. It's like everybody's quiet and I start one thing and then there's so many questions all at once. Let me get back to Mona's question. What is the main difference in the states where you work? So you're going to notice if you have a nurse that's accepted a position in Tennessee, I'm pretty sure that's where Meredith is. She's either in Tennessee or Texas. But if you're in Tennessee and you've got a nurse that's accepted a position, yay, fantastic. And this nurse, let's say that she has a friend named Bob, and Bob has accepted a position in California. If you start comparing your job offers, even if you're with the same company, even if you're both with DaVita, which is one of our big clients, and they place people all over the United States, you two can't compare job offers really because you're in 2 different states. So for example, job offers and the salary of those job offers are going to be based on where you live, and where you live is cost of living. So that is something that we do take. It definitely has a huge impact in the United States, is where you live impacts how much you make. So the cost of living in Tennessee is much less than the cost, well, unless you're in like Nashville area. But the cost of living in the United States or in Tennessee is much less than cost of living in California. So you're going to see a big discrepancy in salary differences. So that's why I always try to tell people, like, don't think that that person's getting paid more than you because, you know, like, let's say you have the same experience, you came from the same hospital, you graduated from the same school, you have the same years of experience, but they're getting paid more than you. It's because of where they live or where they will live. Okay. So, but when you're looking at states in the US, the United States is massive. It's massive. We have all the way up in Alaska where it is freezing cold right now, literally below zero. So cold. And then you have my best friend lives in Boca, where she's still walking around in shorts and a tank top because it's warm. Then you have everything in between. You have areas that are going to have a lot of rain. You have areas that are going to have like very little to no rain. You have a cold, what we like to call a cold, wet winter, meaning you're closer to the ocean. It's just very wet. There's moisture in the air and it feels colder. Or you can have a very dry cold, like what they have in Colorado and Utah. Like, it just depends on you. What do you want to experience? And the big thing that I always encourage people to remember is your sister lives in Texas for almost 25 years. My dad used to live in Texas. I feel like, Meredith, you used to be in Texas. I could be wrong. Texas is a great place, but it's also a huge state. The state of Texas is bigger than the Philippines. Okay. It's huge, huge. It's, you know, we're like approaching, I feel like the size of almost Australia, which is a continent. So just because you can say, I want to live near my family, I'm going to take a job in Texas. Well, if you live in Houston and your family lives in Dallas, you're still going to have to drive like 12 hours to get to them. It's a long drive. You can drive for 24 hours and still not be out of Texas. Big state. So all these things I say, take into consideration. But this is something that you get to talk to your recruitment. It takes a day to drive east to west or north to south. See, 24 hours. Look at that. Boom. Crushed it. But in the state of Texas, it's huge. So take that into consideration when you're talking to your RN, when you're talking to your recruitment person. Tell them, like, for me, I hate cold. I hate it. It's like my worst nightmare. I hate being cold. I walk around. I don't care. I always have fuzzy slippers on. Always. So even in the summertime, like, I got to have warm feet. So what works for you? What works best for you? All right. So many questions. Let me get back up in the chat. All right. There we go. RN. There's not any in Jordan. Meredith is in Texas. Haha. I was close. I knew it. I was either Texas or Tennessee. One of the T's. Let's see. What is the nurse to patient ratio in the U.S.? Serrano, what a great question. We do have a nursing shortage here in the United States. That is a reality. That is why we are able to offer you amazing candidates jobs in the United States. We do have a nursing shortage. However, I am confident in saying that our nurse to patient ratio is probably better. It's more because we have all these labor laws. It's more regulated than possibly what you're experiencing. But it's going to depend on which department you're in. Are you in med-surg? Are you in NICU? Are you in the ICU? Like, what department you're in. So that's going to be something to take into consideration. It's going to depend on the hospital, to be completely honest. It's going to depend on which hospital you're at. So I can't answer an average. Like, I can't just tell you it's 12-1. Like, I can't give you an average number. It's going to depend on where you are. But that's a great question to ask your employer. People, when you're doing your interview with your employer, and they, at the end of the interview, ask, do you have any questions for us? That is a fantastic question you should ask. If they haven't talked about it yet, always ask that question. What is the nurse to patient ratio? Great question to have in the back of your pocket. Can I enlighten you? Oh, what a great word, enlighten us about the NCLEX sponsorship program of Worldwide HealthStaff Solutions. Okay, so that is a we work with a client. Oh, we do work with a client that does offer one-to-one patients for home health nurses. Home health care is where it's at, ladies and gentlemen. It is one-to-one. It's beautiful. And those nurses have the most wonderful, beautiful hearts. I have been fortunate with family members who have had to have one-to-one home health care, and those nurses are amazing. So, and each of you are amazing. Look at Tracy, you distracted me. I was on a roll. I was answering a question. Let's see. Recently, but nope, I haven't gotten to that one yet. Okay, hang on. I think I'm here. Enlighten us about the NCLEX sponsorship program. So that's Arnie. Her name's Arnie. She runs that program. Arnie is a registered nurse, and she's a certified registered nurse educator. She is actually in the process of coming over to the U.S. Super excited. She's going to live in North Carolina. But you can speak to one of our, they're called non-NCLEX case managers. And there is an application process to become part of that program. It's not really like I'm trying to see how to best describe it. You work directly with Arnie and you go through her NCLEX preparation program. And she has had amazing success in that NCLEX preparation program. So by reaching out to one of our non-NCLEX case managers, I think, Tracy, I don't know if you can post a link or how to contact about the NCLEX sponsorship program if you are interested. But absolutely, Jane, we would absolutely love to have you engage in those conversations. But I cannot say enough amazing things about Arnie. She's one of my favorites. I just love her. Yes, NCLEX sponsorship program. Look at that. 1 to 2 years current dialysis experience. That's what I was like, I know it's 1 to 2 years of experience, but I couldn't remember if it had to be dialysis. So I didn't say anything. Thank you, Tracy, for saying that. So 1 to 2 years of dialysis experience. We are always looking for dialysis nurses. Always looking for dialysis nurses. Louis recently passed the NCLEX. Yay! That's fantastic. Huge news. Congratulations to you for passing the NCLEX. Planning to work in Wisconsin. That's awesome. I've been to Wisconsin. It is absolutely beautiful. It's cold, Louis. So you're going to need a jacket. You're going to need some fleece lined pants, some boots. It's cold. Planning to work in Wisconsin. Both accept the PTE as an English requirement. Would it be okay to have it endorsed using the visa screen, USEM interview? You're from Manila. Yay! Salamat. Oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what I said. I think I said Salamat something. But let me get through this quickly because, ladies and gentlemen, my battery is dying. The PTE, yes, does work for endorsement requirements. Absolutely, it works for your endorsement requirements from New York to Wisconsin. So yes, you can do that for sure. I'm trying to close that. I'm in battery saver mode, ladies and gentlemen. Let me get down. I want to make sure I answer all the questions though. Let's see. You receive your DQ. You're waiting for your PD to be current. That's awesome, Joy. You're documentarily qualified. Congratulations. You are one step closer. Fantastic. Does Worldwide only accept applicants that have current bedside experience? No, but we do need you to get it current. We need you to get it current. So we will ask you to return to bedside. That's kind of the quick answer for that. Is IELTS needed for Missouri, even though CGFNS and license already obtained? So you have a license in Texas. You will be endorsing to Missouri. I don't have that information pulled up immediately right in front of me, but if you email me, I will get that to you. Thank you, Louie. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm going to go ahead and sign off because my computer's getting ready to die and I don't want to just cut off from you guys. So from my Christmas tree and my little mitten, thank you guys so much for tuning in today. Hopefully this was a great episode for you. Hopefully it was informational. Please, if you're interested in applying for Worldwide, click on those links, check out our free English classes. I'll see you next week for one last live episode in 2023. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next week. I'm going to enjoy a cookie. Bye, everyone. Don't face the corner, face the world.